All right, and hot out of the gate, we got to look at Guild Wars 2 again. Guild Wars 2 has now just switched to their yearly expansion model, similar to like an ESO or a Destiny 2, and I gotta say, I really like what I've seen so far. I have finished the Secrets of the Obscure story, and it's one of my favorites, maybe even my favorite. And the beautiful thing about their yearly expansion model now is we're gonna see quarterly updates leading into an expansion the following year. So what they can do is tell a great standalone story throughout the year. I've loved what I've seen so far. I'm excited to see what comes in the next patch, and the direction just looks like it's going to be great. A darker feel, a darker tone that we haven't seen a lot in Guild Wars 2, and so super exciting. It's great. Some of the other great features, of course, are weapon mastery training, where you can now use weapons from different elite specializations on any spec that you might want to play within your class. And I haven't got to test this out a lot, but I'm really excited to see what kind of combinations I can come up with and maybe some of the new meta builds that might emerge. I think when you have a game that's over 10 years old and you've added so many specs over the years, I think this is a cool way now to add more build flavor and build diversity by just allowing more classes to use more weapons. So I think it was another great change by ArenaNet. And along with this new expansion, we have a couple new maps. Now, I don't know if I really love the maps, but what I can say about the maps is they're sort of elevated, suspended in the sky, and they've used this to introduce the sky scale mount to all new players in this expansion. So if you hadn't grinded for the sky scale mount before, which I can attest firsthand, it is quite the grind, you will naturally obtain a sky scale throughout the storyline. And I think this is just the right thing to do. Of course, Dragonflight borrowed dragon riding from Guild Wars 2, and I think Guild Wars 2 quickly realized, hey, this feature is so good, we need to give it to players right away. And so that's what they've done in Secrets of the Obscure. And I think you hear people saying all the time Guild Wars 2 has the best mounts, but now you can actually jump in right away and experience that for yourself. So good job, ArenaNet. And of course, the last thing I want to bring up as a reason why you should definitely jump into Guild Wars 2 this month and try out their new expansion is the new Wizard's Vault. The Wizard's Vault is sort of like the trading post from World of Warcraft, except with zero FOMO, right? So as you obtain the currency by playing the game, you'll be able to purchase all sorts of great things. Things from just raw gold to mount skins, which, as you know, if you're a Guild Wars 2 player, there weren't hardly any mount skins obtainable in game, only in the shop. This is a good change and a good way to work towards mount skins in game, which is really awesome. Now, I mentioned no FOMO. So when the store rotates, all the old items will go to a legacy tab. So instead of having to lock one item in the trading post in WoW, you will be able to go preview all old rewards and kind of target the things you want. I think this is just a really player-friendly move from ArenaNet, a great way to deliver rewards. And I gotta say, guys, I think all of these features are definitely worth giving Guild Wars 2 a shot in September. So go check it out. So the next game up on my list this month, none other than Old Faithful, World of Warcraft. We're back again. And other than some of the more standard features that you would expect to see in a patch like 10.1.7, such as new story and a new difficulty to the Dawn of the Infinite Mega Dungeon. But other than those kind of staples, there's a few other things that have caught my attention that I want to try out. World of Warcraft and Dragonflight in particular, I feel like has been making a really big push to expand its open world kind of evergreen content. I think World of Warcraft is known for its dailies as kind of a daily simulator, even the world quests, but with time rifts in patch 10.1.5, I think that was a big hit. Some really cool rewards in this repeatable open world content. They've now come with a new event, Dream Surges. So it looks like it's going to tie in with the green Dragonflight, and it looks like the growth of a new world tree is causing the Emerald Dream to manifest throughout the Dragon Isles. It looks like you'll be battling the druids for some really cool rewards, and I gotta say, I really love the direction that WoW is going with their open world content, and I think the acquisition of Proletariat and placing them on some of this open world content has been a huge boon for World of Warcraft and Dragonflight, and I gotta say, I'm loving this new casual content, open world content. I think it's a great move. The next thing I will say, as a player who enjoys the Night Elves, new heritage armor for Night Elves and Forsaken is coming to 10.1.7. And so this is high on my list to go snag both of these armor sets. I think it's going to be great, a good addition. We've been waiting for this for a while. This is a big reason to jump in. If you're a longtime player, you really like the lore of the Night Elves or the Forsaken, I think it's going to be really cool, and I gotta say, it looks really nice. So jump in and go grab this armor if you can this month. And this last one is kind of a weird one, but I oddly think it's a really cool feature and one that does make me want to go test this out or play WoW some more, and that is a new ping system. Maybe similar to something like Apex Legends. You're going to be able to communicate with your mythic team or in PvP possibly by just putting markers on the map that show your intention. And I think it's just going to raise the coordination in these game modes to another level. You'll be able to call out commands like attack or assist or give a warning or on my way. And I think this is just a really cool feature. I think more MMOs need to start implementing this, and so I want to see how World of Warcraft has done it and if there's room for improvement and maybe what we can bring to other games. But in the meantime, for the month of September, I think all these things are enough to get me to jump back in and give it a shot, and maybe you will too. And next up on the list is WoW Hardcore Classic. I kind of wanted to do this as its own separate category because even though it's World of Warcraft, it is vastly different, and they've now added official hardcore servers that you can jump into, and hey, upon death, you're done. And for me, I don't know if I'm gonna jump in. I'm not a vanilla classic player, but I gotta tell you what, queuing up a stream or pulling up the YouTube video highlights of hardcore classic deaths is a good time. The anxiety of watching a player walk next to a cliff or cross a bridge, it's like watching a car crash you can't look away from. So if you were a vanilla player or if you really like classic WoW, yeah, jump in now, check out the hardcore classic servers, and make sure you hit the record button so we can see those untimely and definitely avoidable deaths that are going to come with hardcore classic. Okay, next up on the list is Destiny 2 Season of the Witch. And the early reviews of this is that this may go down as one of the best seasons that has come to Destiny 2 in a long time, and I am really excited to see what it has to offer. If you were a fan of the Witch Queen like I was, more interaction in the story with Savathun and Eris Morn, I think, is a great direction to go, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Witch Queen for me was just one of the peak experiences in Destiny, so I'm really excited to see where this story goes and to jump in and take a look. Also, they're going to bring a new raid, Crota's End, and I think if you played the raid from Lightfall, everyone agrees there's a lot of room for improvement. So I am curious to see how Bungie bounces back from that raid and what Crota's End eventually looks like. Are they going to bring the difficulty back out maybe to raids of the past? Or is it still going to be super easy, casual, friendly? I'm unsure, but I am curious to see how it goes, and I'm curious to see what the Destiny community thinks of the new raid. And as you know, every new season of Destiny comes with its own unique event. This one I believe is called Altars of Summoning, and usually these events knock it out of the ballpark. So I have no doubt it's going to be fun. It's going to be repeatable, something you can jump in with your friends. And it looks like they're going to have this unique reward system delivery where you're going to take these specific cards and build a deck based on what type of rewards you want after completing some of these events. And so I'm really curious to see how that is going to work, and if that's a fun, engaging way to maybe target some more of the rewards that you're interested in, rather than just going through a battle pass style that they've done in the past with their season passes. And so I do want to see what that looks like. And of course, look guys, I'm an old school Halo player, so I just love the mechanics that Bungie brings to the table as far as gunplay. I mean, the classes are always super fun, and this might just be a good reason to dust off the Guardian, jump back in and see what Destiny's up to, if you can figure out the math equation of all the new things you need to buy to get started. I don't know, but either way, Destiny 2 Season of the Witch looks really good. I think it's worth checking out in September. Now, last on my list today is, of course, one of my all-time favorites as a Star Wars fan, and that of course is Star Wars The Old Republic. Not even mentioning the new Ahsoka show has just dropped. Every time a new Star Wars show drops, I just get that itch to jump into the world of Star Wars The Old Republic and just go to battle, do some flashpoints, some PvP with a double-bladed lightsaber. There's just nothing like it if you're a Star Wars fan. New, dropping September 5th, is Galactic Seasons number 5. And this is continuing Star Wars The Old Republic's seasonal model, which they've done a really great job of adding achievements and objectives to get friends together, guilds together, to tackle some really cool content and progress a season pass style reward system where you can get things from armor, mounts, just weapons, really cool stuff. If you know Star Wars The Old Republic, originally made by BioWare, now has moved on to Broadsword Games. The old seasons followed a very BioWare style gameplay where every season you were introduced with a new companion, which of course is tried and true for BioWare. And as you progressed these seasons, you would gain reputation with your companion, helping to raise your companion's level, their power. It was kind of all centered around the companion. And it was really cool because there's been some great companions introduced to the seasonal model. However, they're trying something new with this season that I'm really excited about. Well, instead of getting more favor or companion gifts as you progress your battle pass, you're gonna unlock new story along the way. So I don't know exactly what this will look like yet, but I think this is a really cool approach. You'll of course be delivered this story by an astromech named EV1L, or Evil for short. Maybe it's going to be a little bit of a darker tone, or maybe this is kind of a playful thing. I'm not really sure yet, but either way, it has me intrigued. I want to see what kind of bite-sized storytelling they can tell in this Galactic Season number 5. I'm just excited to get back out there into the universe of Star Wars, see what kind of cool weapons, armor I can collect, mounts. So hey, if you haven't jumped into Star Wars The Old Republic for a while, it is free to play if you want to try it out. I think it could be a good shout for September 2023. So I try to cover things that really have my interest, but if there's something big that I missed or something that you are really interested in, let me know in the comments. Let everyone else know who's watching and reading this. Hey, what other great MMOs are there? What new patches are arriving, new expansions, new pieces of content that seem really cool that, hey, we might want to try out? I would really appreciate it, and I think the community would too. And I gotta say, it's a month away, but I'm already looking to October and New World's new expansion. I'm pretty hyped for it. I mean, mounts, right? Stay tuned next month for another edition of Which MMO, and I'll see you guys next time.